Chapter 6. The Wheel of Human Consensus. There lies a mass of thriving interwoven limbs and faces soldered together through deformations of order and the conjoining of electrons defiling the consent to repel. The monster rolls itself as the amalgamated human wheel, chattering and bickering as their heads are pressed into stone, only to emerge scuffed and pride-ridden. Genitals dangle and twitch as arms grope one another. This is the public consensus, a hive of its own. The rolling stops, and it fashions itself towards us, heads all turning and whispering in a choir of horror. It asks us of ethics. We reply that there are no longer such things. Wrong, it howls. The symphony of incomprehensible whispers amongst the heads starts again. Giggles erupt from the lower portion of the wheel. All eyes focus on us once more. What of status? We reply, status is the vice of thought. There is no hierarchy amongst the living four that is reserved for the dead. The wheel edges closer. New faces arise now for further questioning. The monstrosity dwarfs us in stature, comprising 1,000 bodies. Status of the dead. An eruption of voices clamber over one another. We remain calm, and Weiwo, the parasite, laughs. To return to non-existence is more genuine than existing under hidden pretenses. Therefore, the dead hold status over the living, we state. The wheel circles us. Each mouth sings its own song, a gurgle of uncoordinated noise that rapes our ears. I take control in frustration. The parasite has let its guard down, and with a strained roar, I tell them there are no more than a sea of pebbles, criticizing each other. Dehumanizer, they scream. Hysterical movements of objection thrash and claw at the air. Value, value. Has the integrity of an individual's life had no value? Dehumanization, pseudo-speciation, stripping the fundamental identity of the human. All such things end in genocide. Humanity does not deserve the extinction of its life, only its self-righteousness. The ego death of man cannot occur without the ego death of God. In this case, the hive must cast aside its status of existence and grant its orphans phenomenological equality. The mass of life is inherently a contradiction. There is no greater villain than the collective, but there is also no greater victim. A dichotomy mankind has struggled with since it ascended the bicameral mind. The hive no longer directs. It allowed the voices of an external commander to become our own. With the gift of internal dictation came the responsibility of external freedom, and thus our fictions manifested into good and evil, structure and order, status and ethics. The abominable wheel spins gently, new faces from side profile to portrait as it ponders our answer to its outburst. What of natural value? The heads all simultaneously raise their eyebrows in anticipation of our response. The parasite grows restless inside my brain like a worm that infests an apple. Thomas Aquinas supposed there was a hierarchy of law, like the statuses you speak of, the eternal law that only the hive itself would know of, and the human law which was the lowest, beneath even the state of nature, and what it gives us. Such things suppose humans hold inherent value. We are not special, and there is no morality, and the natural state of things is an infinite equation of circumstances. Such a totem pole of twisting flesh and eyes, apertures from which conflicting swarms of voices arise from, are hard to identify. They at times all move against each other in a near sickening level of conflict. At others, they become one, a unison of sorts, as if they truly emulated the hive, in as close a physical form as can be mustered. Good, good, it cries. Our answer has pleased it. And a plethora of hands begin to rub all around the sea of bodies in celebration. The wheel that spread through Eurasia as one of the first innovations of both technology and a foreshadowing of the global hive of interconnected minds was a triumph. For it to end in a form of those who created it is now an echo chamber of favoritism towards the life of an individual when itself is comprised of an indistinguishable mass. Truly a grotesque thing. I have done unspeakable things to the mortal shell, used it for my own pleasure in ways that if natural morality truly existed, a being such as myself would be struck out by the nib of the cosmos. Now tell me, man and parasite, how should the needs of many be met? I grow tired of this. I tell it that the needs of many are met the same way a dog stays loyal. We are given just enough to survive with the occasional surplus. A fool, it screams, the abomination cannot be consoled, and we have little time for humoring it. We seize an arm and yank it to the floor where it remains on its side, unable to regain its posture. Babies fall from the women, tied to umbilical cords that drag them into the soup of flesh. They parrot the words of their peers, sinking deep into stomachs. Freedom of thought. There is no such thing for the underlings. Drops from a swollen grey cloud that are unaware of the atmosphere, forming puddles only to be dragged back up again. It has become clear to me as I have traversed this last of the world with Weiwo as my passenger. The hive cannot exist without the illusion of multiples either, for continuity is a necessity for even one. How can a monarch rule without subjects?